So you got like a 4-cylinder, you got a 6-cylinder, you got an 8-cylinder. I hear there's even a 12-cylinder, right? What's the difference between a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder? What's the difference? Say it again. That's deep. Yeah, yep, that's deep, right? Power, I like that, right? And so when you think about power, what can you do with power? A whole bunch of stuff, right? So what happens then is, based on what you tell me, that's going to determine what kind of engine you're working with. So we all got skill. Everybody, like, what position do you play? Good. Give me the average, like height for a center. 6'10", give me some dimensions. 6'10", 7'2" wingspan. Good. What about weight? Good. So the average dude that's playing center, he ain't 6'4". If he's 6'4", he ain't doing what? He's not playing center. So every center pretty much looks alike. So what's the difference between the centers? That's the difference between two dudes who playing center. If y'all both got the same skill set, what's gonna separate you is the will. That's what's gonna separate you. And will is power. So everybody got the same skill set, but what separates you is the will. That's what separates you. That's when you got two dogs that come up against each other, somebody gotta take an L and somebody taking a W, right? So first quarter, first half, second half, that's what happens. So then how do we create power? We create power by our drive, by our engine. That's how we create power. So that's why I ask you, what do you want? Now, I'm gonna be real. I ain't got no reason to lie to y'all. The average person that I talk to say championship, and they say NBA. Y'all, you said something deeper than that. Matter of fact, bro, you really said it. The average dude that's in the league don't even want to be in the league, bro. The average dude in the league ain't trying to play 82 games, right? What else is he not trying to do? Let's be real. 82 games. What else is he not trying to do? What are some of you not trying to do? You love the game, but what are you not trying to do? I'm not trying to go to recovery. Bottom line, I don't feel like being in recovery. What else? Workouts, good. What else? Travel, what else? Say it again. Practice, film, weight. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it 100, bro. Most of us ain't trying to do that. You feel me? So when cats say, I want to go to the NBA, no, you don't. You want to take care of your mama. That's what you want to do. Because if you can make $40 million without going to the league and make $40 million going to some school every day, helping a group of kids, and you can get up and go whenever you wanted to. You can do 1 day a week, 2 days a week, go train them. Which one would you do? The league for 82 games, practice, injury, travel. Which one would you take? Same 40 mil. Going to the kids. It ain't rocket science. So let's be 100. Most of us ain't trying to do this. Right? So if we're not trying to do it, what happens is when you do it the first half, you do it a little bit, maybe a little lot, then you get the second half, then it get hard, then you quit. You're like, I ain't trying to do this. Now, you might not say you quitting, but you're not giving 120%. Does that make sense? All right, so let's do this. Y'all got to be fair. And one of y'all tell the truth. How many of you have been in the game and somewhere in the game, you lost interest in the game? Just be honest. One person, you played the game and you lost interest. Let me see your hands. Just lost interest. And so when you lose interest, you lose what? You lose power. That's what happens. So you lost interest. You like, I ain't really trying to be here. So you lost power. So the reason why I'm asking you, what do you want? Because if you know what you want, that can drive you. So you say, who said they want to take care of their mama? Good. You want to take care of your mama. What is that? Where you from? St. Paul, Minnesota. Good. And when you say take care of your mama, what does that look like? Love it. Love it. So, and again, we're just going to be honest. It's a small group. How many times have you practiced and played the game and watched film did you really think about that and had that at the front of your mind? Bingo. I asked him, he was like, he ain't even miss mama. He was like, I've definitely not had it on the front of my mind. You feel me? So what happens when you put it in the front of your mind, you go from a 4-cylinder to a 12-cylinder. And here's the crazy part. The cylinders are in you, but when you're not interested, you go to a 4 instead of a 12. And what my job is to find a way to make the best you show up. Does that make sense? How many games do you play? So my goal is to make your will show up for 35 games. Because if your will shows up for 35 games, you're going to beat the average team because they just come in with what? They just come in with skill, bro. And they too don't want to be there. And they too don't want to practice. And they too, out of everything, which one you hate the most? Let's be real. Which one, out of what you have to do in basketball, which one do you hate the most? Practice. And you got to do that more than anything else. Isn't that crazy? Like the one thing you hate, that's the thing you got to do the most of. It ain't like you playing the most of the time. You only playing how many days a week? 2 days a week. How many hours? 2 hours. That's it. You play 4 hours tops. How many hours you practicing? You can't even think. He like, I just started looking disgust. My man was like, I can't even count it. So you see the problem we have here? We got a problem. We got a problem with you skilled enough, but maybe you're not willed enough. Does that make sense? All right, we good? Does that make sense? Good. So we got to ask the question, what drives you? Write that down. What drives me? What drives me? And every day when you wake up, I need you to tap into that power. Now, there are a couple things that drive me. So the first thing that drives me, and if you know my story, don't say nothing. But I left the crib at 16. The very first time I ran away from home, I was like between 12 and 13. I called my mom, right? Because the person that was raising me was 6'8". And as you can tell, I'm not 6'8". You feel me? I ain't even started growing. Like I had a growth spurt at 16, and you could tell it wasn't a big one. You feel me? Like it wasn't a lot, right? So imagine how short I was in high school. So people used to tell me all the time, like, yo, bro, I ain't trying to be funny, but you know that ain't your father, don't you? I was like, what? You know that ain't your father. I said, that's my father. That's not your father. I'm like, yeah, it's my father. Because if it wasn't my father, who would have told me? My mom would have told me it wasn't my father. She ain't never said nothing. So it's got to be my father. You know what I'm saying? That's my sister. That's my sister. So I think I was about 12, almost 13 years old. I called my mom one day at the job. I was like, look, Mom, just be real with me. Just keep it 100. Don't lie to me. Is this man my father? She was like, no, he's not your father. But I was going to tell you. I was like, when? Like 18? 17? Like, when was you going to get to it? She's like, I was going to get to it. So you can imagine when your mama lied to you about your father, like, what do you think happened between me and my mom's relationship? It went down. Why? Because I couldn't what? Good. And what do you think happened to the person that was raising me that I thought was my father? Went down. What do you think I said to myself? You ain't my daddy. Flat out. So I went to school with that mentality the whole nine. So I started running away from the crib when I was 12. I would come back, be gone 3 days, a week, come back. When I was 16, I left for good. When I was homeless for good, you're on the streets of Detroit, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Almost got shot a couple times. A lot of stuff happened, right? So I'm homeless. 16, 17 years old, started hanging out with my boy Bob. Bob started bringing me to church. Like, I'll never forget the first time I went to church. I was like, God, we homeless. What we gonna do? He was like, we not homeless. You homeless. We not homeless. You the one making them crazy decisions. So I remember, being at a revival. Like, I ain't grew up in church. I ain't never seen my mother pray. My father who raised me, I ain't never seen him pray. Like, we didn't go to church. We didn't do that. And I remember my man was preaching. He was just talking about, like, before your mama made you, God knew you were in the womb. Like, for real, you got to understand, I'm 17, bro, 16, 17. If my mom lied to me about who my father was, and my mom got pregnant at 17, I'm thinking I'm a what? I'm a mistake. So my whole life, I'm walking around like I'm a mistake, bro. Like, you ain't really want me. You got pregnant at 17 years old. I don't even know why you didn't have an abortion. I messed your life up. You messed my life up. Now I'm about to mess your life up. That's what I was on. I was about 17, started going to church. The pastor did this thing in Isaiah. It was crazy. My man was like, yo, before your mother knew you, God called you. And I'm like, ooh, that's pretty deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the truth, and I ain't no Christian, I don't really know God like that, but I'm hoping that's the truth, because if it's the truth, then it means what? I'm not a mistake. And if I'm not a mistake, then that means I was born with a what? With a purpose. I was like, let's go. My mom didn't even know. I'm like, let's go. And then the pastor, like, my man would come up to me every week. He was like, yo, E, did you graduate from high school? And I was like, nope. He was like, you need to get your GED and go to college. And I was like, bruh, how am I going to go to college? I ain't finished high school. He was like, just get your GED and I'll write a letter of referral, a recommendation letter. And I was like, is that possible? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, bet. Started dating this girl at the church. I'll never forget, she was a year younger than me. She came to me one day. I was out of high school for 2 years, bro. My boys were selling dope. We were stealing cars off trucks. We were just doing some crazy stuff. And she came to me. I used to go to church every week. I never missed church. Wednesday night prayer meeting, I walked 2 hours to get there. I never missed church, y'all. Watch this. My girl came to me and she was like, look, I got to tell you something. I was like, what's up? She was like, do you love me? I was like, yeah, I mean, we 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever that means, you know what I'm saying? I love you, but like, what do you mean? She's like, no, do you love me? I was like, I guess. What does that mean? She's like, look, I'm going to college and you don't go with me. I'm breaking up with you. I was like, you doing what? She's like, I'm gonna break up with you if I go to college. And I ain't stupid. I ain't go to college, but I know if my girl go to college, pretty little red bone. I know if she go to college for 4 years and I stay back in Detroit, what's gonna happen? Somebody gonna scoop her. I might not be the smartest apple, but I ain't stupid. I went and studied, got my GED, bro. Got in the whip with her and went to college. Flat out, I told the pastor, I was like, yo, bro, are you serious? Can you really hook me up? He's like, I got you. I graduated from there. I'm a pastor. I'm gonna write a letter. It's a Christian school. They gonna let you in. Now, you're gonna have to take like remedial classes and stuff, but I can get you in. I'm like, bet. Follow her to college. Got to college, y'all, I'll never forget. I flunked out. That took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree. But I remember the first time they had this Christian like program, and they was like, yo, E, they don't even know me. It was like, we want you to speak. I don't even know how they asked me to speak. It was like something called commencement or something. It was like for freshmen, and one freshman get to address for all freshmen. I got up and got on the mic and preached and was like, whoa. Like, it wasn't even a sermon, but I felt like, just like when you get the rock in your hand, you got all them people in the stand, you got your family in the stand, they got the TV on. Talk to me, bro. When you in that mode, you out there doing your thing, everybody watching, how does that make you feel with that rock in your hand? Invincible, bro. What if you had a football in your hand? Or a soccer ball, how would you feel? You don't even know. But with the basketball, you feel invincible. That's how I felt when I got the mic. When I got the mic in my hand, I was like, whoa, I could do this. And so the first time in my life, I had purpose. So I started getting in the word, and that purpose, it drove me. That like, yo, E, you got to say the word. Like, you the Martin Luther King of 2019. When I wake up, y'all, that's why I wake up so fired up. I'm like, yo, I am the Martin Luther King of this generation. Like, flat out. When older people don't know who I am, I don't be tripping. My man like 50, 60, 70 years old, like, I don't know who you are. I'm sure you don't. But if you was 19 and didn't know who I was, if you was 24 and you didn't know who I was, I'd have a problem. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So the NBA player, of course, rock with me. CP3 just did a shoe with all my quotes on it. This is my generation. The millennials are mine. I wake up every day doing a video, not to get paid. Don't nobody pay me to do those videos. Why do I do it? Because I got purpose. That's my drive. That's my engine. That's why you see me so pumped up. Because I wake up and like, God got a mission for me. Check. If I wake up, it's showtime. I'm like, God, I just need one favor. Just wake me up. Like, I can't do that on my own. I swear to, if you wake me up, it's a wrap. I'm about to motivate somebody, inspire somebody. I'm about to get somebody through chemotherapy. I'm about to get somebody who got a divorce back together again. I'm about to get some child that ain't talking to their family. I'm about to get them back again. I'm about to get some dude who dropped out the league to get back in the league. I'm about to get some girl who failed her board exam to take it again. Just wake me up. That's that engine. And so for a lot of you, for real, you a 12-cylinder, but you acting like a 4-cylinder because you ain't got no drive. And when you don't have drive and they making you go to practice, well, of course you can't do practice. But if you don't think about practice no more, but you think about who? So what I'm saying to you is, every time you get up and grind, you that much closer. So when you do practice, I don't want you to see practice no more. I don't want you to see practice no more. I want you to see, I'm about to cash my mama out. Every playbook, I don't care if you like the playbook or not. He just told you I was Dr. Thomas. I hate school. I hate school. There's nothing about school I like. And I went to Michigan State, which means that I was going to school with minus 10 degrees with 12 inches of snow on the ground. I hate school in January. I hate school in February. I just hate school. I'm a high school dropout. At no point is my degree hanging in my office. Is my degree hanging in the house? You know where my degree is? No, I don't either. That's how much I hate school. I don't even want to see it. I'm being real. Like, I don't even want to see my PhD. I don't even want to be reminded of school. That's how much I hate it. You know why I went to got a PhD? Because if I want to be #1 motivational speaker in the world as an African American, I gotta have all the credentials, bro. If I want to be #1, I gotta be better. I gotta do more. It's just real. Ain't nobody tripping. I ain't tripping. You hear what I'm telling you? So, bro, I hate school, but I had to do it. Why? Because I wanted to be #1 in the world. And I woke up one day and was like, yo, Tony Robbins making how much? But you know what I realized? I had a language he had. I'm not mad. So I didn't go to school to get a degree. I went to Michigan State to learn the language. And I sat in the class and listened to all them teachers talk. And I was like, ooh, that's how you say it? That's the word you use? You don't say teach, you say pedagogy? Well, pedagogy it is. Let's go. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'll do whatever it takes to make 50 racks an hour. I'll do whatever it takes to feed my family. I did the 4-year, the master's, the PhD. I hated every minute of it. But I tell you something, I hate school. but I love freedom. I love having my freedom, bro. I love choices. I only fly first class. I was just flying private jet with CP3. I love options, bro. I love options more than I hate school. And at the rate some of you going, you don't like practice. Well, wait till you get a load of real life.